new binoculars.
And you, hold on. You was just out here the other day talking about they about to get Keanu Neal and they about to get Kazee. They were on Atlanta team. You were going crazy.
I was not. I was going crazy bad.
Exactly, exactly.
Right.
Skip, you take two guys off the worst defense in football.
Well, it's the worst pass defense.
Pass defense in football.
I looked it up the other day. I told you it's the 5th worst all time.
And then you bring those guys in to help you get better. It seems to me what he's done is that he's taken guys from Atlanta and brought them to Dallas. Skip, and both guys, Kazee tore his Achilles last year.
After week 4.
Oh, it's funny that you mentioned that. In his games last year, they were allowed 341 yards, 34.5 points a game before he got hurt. So he was making a huge difference, Skip. I mean, he had a real big impact on the game just for the other team.
Yeah.
I don't get, Skip, I don't get this. I get it. Sometimes, Skip, you like to have guys that's been in your system and they can help guys explain the system. But I don't want nobody to explain that to me. Skip, if you making F's, why am I going to let you help me with my homework? Did you see where they came from? Did you see how bad the Falcons' defense was? Mm-hmm. It was historically bad. And you get two guys out there to put in your secondary, which is already a weak link of your team.
And the mastermind of that defense was who?
Dan Quinn, who happens to be your DC now.
Okay. Thank you.
For like 8 weeks, Skip Bayless beat the death, and he gave me Mike Nolan's stats. When he was in Atlanta the last 3 years, the defense finished this, and this. If the Falcons' defense could have finished anywhere near Mike Nolan's defense, they might have would have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Skip, I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand it's a bargain basement price. And Jerry, see, I told you Jerry was doing that bargain bid.
You were right.
That pie, I don't know what happened to that pie.
Yeah, we're at the bottom of the bargain basement bin.
Yes.
That's where we are.
Yes. Skip, I don't get this deal. He does nothing for the Cowboys defense except gives them a body. That's it.
So Atlanta plus Dallas equals big D as in disaster, right?
Yes.
Anything coming from Atlanta to Dallas is a disaster.
Yes.
That's what this feels like to me. I try to look for the metallic silver lining here. I try hard, but the harder I look at Kazee's career, he was a 5th-round pick out of San Diego State. He is small and he is slow. Is that a good combination?
No. You can be one or the other if you play in the NFL, but you can't be that combination and play in the league.
He's 5'10", 184. They tried him at slot corner. They transitioned him under Dan Quinn to free safety. He ran 4.54 at the combine, 4.54. And again, today...
At 180?
Yeah, at 180. Today, that's slow to me,
he's
right?
walking.
Yeah, you're walking. No, it's true. You're right. But he does have some ball hawk in him that nobody in my secondary last year had. Some ball hawk, because his second year in 2018, he tied for the lead in NFL interceptions with 7 with Kyle Fuller and Xavier Howard. Okay, I'll take that. Then he had 3 the next year. So over a 2-year period, he actually led the NFL in interceptions for what it's worth, but it all came off that 2018 year.
Right.
So I'll take that. And Keanu Neal did make 1 Pro Bowl. He did, and he's a thumper. I think they're going to transition him from box safety to some kind of outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying, could he be that? Because he will stick his nose in there, and he's a tough guy, and he's got some blood and guts to him. So maybe, but then I look at what happened in Atlanta last year. And then I look at their injury history. Both have had Achilles tears. It's no good. It's the worst injury in sports. It's very hard to ever be 100% to come back from it. Maybe you can be 92%.
Right.
But at these positions, you better be 100%.
Could Kazee afford to lose any more speed if you already said he's slow?
Okay, and I have no idea, but they had to weigh him against a Malik Hooker, who was the 15th overall pick out of The Ohio State. I was a huge fan of his coming out.
Yes.
He's also coming off Achilles tear. And I assume the medical people in Dallas, because both were in for an interview and physical, a little bit of a, let's check their oil. Yeah. And I guess they decide, now maybe Malik Hooker just wanted too much money because he's a stud to me. But they went cheaper, and maybe they went healthier. Maybe because he's a little farther along his rehab. I have no idea.
Right.
But that's all I can figure out. So I wanted Malik Hooker, and I wanted Earl Thomas, and you laughed at Earl Thomas, but at least they're made men. At least they're guys, I say, those guys have stature to them. Those guys walk in your locker room, and you say, oh, that's a guy.
Right.
Well, these guys don't have any stature, except they came with the same head coach coordinator who is now being lauded by Mike McCarthy like he's some mastermind. Yesterday, McCarthy did a big interview. We had to snatch him up because he was a hot property on the market. We had to leap on Dan Quinn because, boy, he had a lot of job offers. I don't think so. I just don't think so.
Skip, the thing is, that's what you tell. Dan Quinn was really dialing it up. But he had Earl Thomas, he had Cam, he had Sherm, he had B. Wags, he had KJ Wright, he had Averill, he had Bennett. Yeah! Hell, I can call the defense. Would you give me all that?
I agree.